If
It's a women's
if-
shelter,
yeah.
then it should be for women, not for men that dress up like women.
you support that policy of
Do I support transgender women? Of course I do.
getting into a safe space with real biological women.
If it's a transgender woman, we support them with what they need.
We're gonna have to call the police.
Okay, for standing on a sidewalk?
Don't film me. Thank you.
Okay, but you approached us, you interrupted us.
I'm approaching you because you're filming my clients and our property.
No, we're not filming your clients. You're quite wrong about that. And what's your opinion of a biological man
Okay.
staying
I'm
with
not having
biological
a
females?
conversation. I'm just gonna call the police. Thank you.
David Menzies for Rebel News here in Windsor, Ontario. And what can I tell you? Transanity continues. Now, as you can see, folks, we are at a building called the Welcome Center Shelter for Women and Families. And you may recall several months ago, there was an individual, a biological male by the name of Cody Dentremont. I want to throw to a picture of Cody. Tell me, do you think that's a man or a woman? In any regard, he is now identifying as a woman, as somebody called Desiree Anderson. He was given admission into this shelter and almost immediately, well, here's a shocker for you, began assaulting biological females here. That's right. It's a safe space for women. And he carried out a physical assault. It's absolutely egregious. Now, the reason why we're here is we have heard that thankfully he is no longer in this shelter. And to add a twist to this story, we've been told by people close to the shelter that this Cody Dentremont actually now identifies not as a woman, but as a cat. So we're going to try to walk around the neighborhood, see if we can catch this man come woman come cat, see if we can get him on camera and find out why it is he thought he was entitled as a biological male to go into a safe space for women and carry out his alleged reign of carnage. Well, folks, we happen upon Christine. She is a resident here at the Welcome Center Shelter for Women and Families. And Christine, what brings us down to Windsor, we're on the lookout for somebody by the name of Cody Dentremont. He goes now by the name Desiree Anderson.
Yes, I know that gentleman.
Oh,
He's a female and a male.
okay.
He's going as a male now because he's dating a woman, and they go to the mission downtown.
That's what we heard. That's it. He's no longer here, but
Yes.
when he was here,
I heard about that assault, and I read about it in the internet news. And I heard that there was an assault inside this building, and we're supposed to be safe. There's locked doors. Certain people can't go on certain floors. But in this place, children are up on the third floor when they're only allowed on second. And it probably would happen again. The staff here are all under 25 years old, not all of them, but most of them. They're disrespectful to the people here, and they only get a certain selection of foods, and most people can't eat it. I've been starving myself for a couple of weeks because I can't eat their food.
I'm very sorry to hear that. But tell me, the issue at hand here, a biological male coming into what is a safe space for females, and then within days he's in an assault situation. What are the operators of this center thinking?
They're not doing anything. They're literally living off of the people's, what's it called, shelter proportion of their checks. They're really not doing anything, even when it comes to stealing. People are stealing people's clothes, underwear, and personal possessions, and the staff aren't doing nothing. They're saying, there's nothing we can do. What do you want us to do?
if
It's a women's shelter,
yeah.
then it should be for women, not for men that dress up like women.
so, why, pray tell, is a man, a biological man, being allowed to come in here? It's like
Because
putting
they're breaking rules for people when they should be going to a different shelter.
Is it a matter of political correctness, wokeism?
They should make a shelter for people that are indifferent.
Okay. You know what? I think you've come across a solution. I mean,
Transitioning into geared to income, I would like to pitch that idea to the government.
okay.
And it's my idea. It's called Transitioning into Geared to Income. I would like it out in the country. And I'd like it to be like a square with an inner park inside of it.
And ma'am, tell me, did you ever feel unsafe around this individual?
No,
Okay.
no, because I didn't let it go that far. I did not. I don't judge people like that, but I also don't want to be with somebody like that if they're in my room.
And ma'am, we reached out to someone who's, knows about this shelter and has friends here. And she told us, and I'm not making this up, I wish I were, that right now this Cody Dentremont
Yep.
is identifying as a cat.
Yes, he is. Yes.
How does one identify as a cat? He dresses up as a cat?
Yeah, I believe he does. I've never seen him in dress up, but he does identify as a cat now. Man, woman, and cat.
So he was a man, he became a woman, now he's a cat. It sounds to me, and I'm not trying to be mean here, I'm not making a joke, but, well, shouldn't he be getting psychiatric treatment?
There's a lot of people that need psychiatric treatment, and there's a lot of people that need help, but they're not getting it. They're dying.
Oh, hi, ladies.
Can I ask what you're doing?
Yes, my name is David Menzies with Rebel News, and we're trying to track down an individual, Cody Dentremont, aka Desiree Anderson. He was evidently staying at this shelter. He's a biological male, and he assaulted a female here.
Okay, so I know you guys are off property right now, but
Yeah.
you guys can't be filming our clients, let alone our shelter.
Oh, we're not. We're especially trying to not to do that.
Okay, well, you're filming me right now.
Oh, okay. Well, you approached us, ma'am. We're not concerned with those people, and we're not filming them. My question is, how does a biological male get into a female shelter, ma'am?
It was a transgender woman, so that's my only comment that I'm going to say about that.
Okay, but at the end of the day, that's a man, right?
Transgender woman.
Okay, but don't you see that there's an inherent
That's my
danger?
only comment. That's my
Okay.
only comment. She's a transgender woman, so we take trans women here because they are women, so that's our only comment.
So you support that policy of
Do I support transgender women? Of course I do.
getting into a safe space with real biological women?
If it's a transgender woman, we support them with what they need.
And yet he carried out an assault.
So I can't comment on that because I wasn't here when that happened, but
Okay.
I have to ask you guys not to be filming near property because someone could be passing by in the background, and I can't give you any information regarding this client anymore because
Well, we're not interested in anyone here. We're standing on a public sidewalk, man. We're not coming on your property.
It's just that the risk of like a phone screen, if someone does walk in the background, it is just a safety thing for our clients. So I have to ask you guys to continue your business elsewhere respectfully.
Well, what I can do is that if we capture anyone on camera, we can blur their faces so you don't have to worry about them being identified. We just find it is egregious and outrageous that you're essentially letting the fox into the hen house, a biological male with women who, well, let's face it, this is a safe space for real women,
So we also-
and you don't have a problem with that.
Also, it's not that. We also do have male clients here as well, if they're a part of a family unit. But when it comes to transgender women, they are still women, and we take things very seriously when things happen to our clients, and we go from there. But we do support trans women still, regardless, in general. So I'm not going to comment on this anymore.
Okay.
Because I am uncomfortable that you guys are filming here.
Okay.
Regardless of you guys being on public property, respectfully, I think you guys just need to carry on.
Well,
Lady Lafrette's number if you have any more questions. Please don't film me. Thank you.
well, you're in a public place.
No, I'm actually at my workplace, but please
Yeah.
don't film me.
Well,
Thank
there's
you.
there's no expectation of privacy in an open place
Okay,
like
so
this,
we
ma'am.
are gonna have to call the police.
Okay, for standing on a sidewalk?
Don't film me. Thank you.
Okay, but you approached us, you interrupted
I'm
us.
approaching you because you're filming my clients and our property.
No, we're not filming your clients. You're quite wrong about that. And what's your opinion of a biological man
Okay.
staying
I'm
with
not having
biological
a
female?
conversation. I'm just gonna call the police. Thank you.
So this is absolutely incredible, folks. As you just saw, two young female, I assume they're female. You never know these days, do you? But they look like women to me. And then again, what's a woman? But they were more concerned about having so-called trans woman, that's a man pretending to be a woman, staying at a shelter where it clearly says shelter for women and families. They're more concerned about political correctness and wokeism as opposed to, oh, I don't know, hurting the feelings of somebody who might be mentally ill. And I'm not saying that to be sarcastic or mean or make light of the situation. As you saw from another person we spoke with, Cody Dentremont identifies as a cat these days. Does anyone think that's normal, or am I being a specious by saying that someone who was born Homo sapiens shouldn't be identifying as a feline? It would all be so amusing if not for the somber reality that so many of the women here are fleeing violence. They are fleeing spouses and partners that would do harm to them. This should be the finish line. This should be the safe space. So what does it say about our society today when we open up the doors for the predators to come in with the prey? Absolutely despicable. In any event, we're going to go to the mission and see if Cody Dentremont is there. In the meantime, we may as well bugger off. They've called the police on us. I don't know what crime we've broken. We are on a public sidewalk. But then again, in Justin Trudeau's Canada of 2023, the laws seem to change by the week, don't they? So stay tuned. We're going to see if we can dig up this Cody Dentremont. And I guess the question arises, will he be a man? Will he be a woman? Will he be a cat? Well, folks, I'm standing outside the downtown mission of Windsor. This is where we understand Cody Dentremont, aka Desiree Anderson. Not sure what his cat name is. Anyways, this is where we've been told he is staying. Now, we haven't seen him here yet, and we've been going up and down the streets of downtown Windsor looking for a man dressed as a cat, as perverse as that might be. And maybe it means coming back some other time, because I really want to get that individual on camera. Basically finding out what his agenda is and why basically he's being allowed to do what he's doing. But I'll tell you one thing, I thought what was very telling about our visit to the women's shelter when we had those young 20-something staffers coming out, repeating the mantra, trans women are real women. You know, even if you believe that to be true, what about the idea that there might be nefarious men out there pretending to be trans women so that they can get closer to real biological women, you know, to assault or sexually assault them? This is the thing. These people at that shelter are so beholden to wokeism, they would rather a real biological woman get assaulted rather than hurt the feelings of somebody that might not be transgender to begin with. What a crazy clown world we live in. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. You don't expect that this kind of story is going to get covered by the mainstream media, and it is not. So please, if you can, help us carry out this kind of journalism. Go to rebelfieldreports.com. That's rebelfieldreports.com. And if you can make any kind of donation, that would be greatly appreciated.